I'm Nisha from Ubongo. We're creators of edu cartoons that are loved by over 1.5 million children across East Africa. So I'm actually filling in today for our COO, Doreen, who was supposed to be talking but couldn't come to a family because of a family emergency. She had a really amazing talk prepared, so I'm going to try and do it justice and tell you some of her story while we talk about how we're growing an edtech startup across Africa. Now, I'm really excited to be here in Finland, the homeland of fun learning, to give this talk. Our mission is to entertain kids to learn and love learning, and in Finland, you do this amazingly. The thing is, in Africa, we have to do things a little bit differently so that we can ensure that we're reaching the kids who need this most on accessible technologies and with locally relevant content. So to start and tell you some more about the situation, let's start with Doreen's story. This is a picture of her when she went to school in rural Africa. In primary school for first grade, there weren't enough classrooms, so they actually studied outside and wrote with sticks in the dirt. The next year, for second grade, they got a classroom, and then the learning actually became less engaging and interactive. It was a teacher at the front of the classroom lecturing, and then rote memorization, day after day, week after week. That's how the system works in Tanzania. 3/4 of kids drop out before they reach secondary school, and the statistics just show that students are in school but not learning. 55% of Tanzanian 10 to 16-year-olds fail baseline tests set to the level of an 8-year-old. Over half of primary school students don't own a single textbook. And on any given day, 43% of classrooms are without a teacher. The situation's similar across the continent, and school systems are failing the 440 million under 15s in Africa. This is truly a crisis, but there is hope. And I'm sure many of you are thinking, as we've heard today, that technology can be the solution. And yes, I believe it can be, but we have to think about certain problems in the situation and use technology correctly. So there are problems like, how do you get top quality digital learning content out to kids who don't have smart devices, computers, or the internet? In Tanzania, 3% of people have computer access, and about 19% have internet. Now, the vast majority of that is really slow 2G connections. So at Ubongo, we try and leverage the technologies that are available, that people have: broadcast media and basic mobile phones. So 42% of Tanzanians watch TV on a weekly basis, and 80% of Tanzanian households have a mobile phone. Using these technologies, we can reach a massive audience right now. So I'd like to introduce you to my friends, Mama Ndege, Uncle T, the rapping giraffe, and the whole Ubongo Kids crew, who are bringing fun learning, interactive fun learning, to kids across East Africa every day on TV. So that's our show, Ubongo Kids. It teaches math through fun animated stories and catchy original songs. We broadcast on national TV in Tanzania. Now, because TV stations in Africa don't have money to pay for content, we've had to be creative in the business model of how to get this out. So we actually get TV airtime, we broadcast, and we sell our own advertisements. Now that we've reached a lot of kids and family, we've also become a platform so that NGOs and institutions can get their messages out to families across East Africa. By leveraging these channels, we've been able to bring a whole new kind of learning to the Tanzanian market. And it's something new. It's not just the first edutainment product, it's actually the first ever local cartoon series. And it's been a really big hit with kids, who are then able to interact with the show for even deeper learning. So they can register their mobile phones at the beginning of a show, and then we push them questions about what they're learning while they watch. And once they answer, they get personalized feedback and encouragement from their favorite cartoon characters. The response has been massive. We've reached 1.2 million kids since January in Tanzania, and 1 in 4 TV households now watches Ubongo Kids. 93% of our test viewers asked to watch the same episode again, and we've had over 30,000 unique registrants for the SMS interaction in beta. We're now getting ready to launch a full M-learning platform that complements the TV show in January. And it works as a learning tool. Kids who watch Ubongo Kids show significant improvement on subject-specific math quizzes after watching just a single episode. But as I mentioned, our goal is to transform learning across the continent. So we really do need to grow. The first step to that was taking what we've done in Tanzania and starting to broadcast elsewhere. So in August, we launched in 5 countries across East Africa with Ubongo Kids in Kiswahili. We can now say that Mama Ndege here has the largest classroom in East Africa. But that's not enough. We want to grow, and Kiswahili can only take us so far. So we ran a Kickstarter campaign to raise money to translate the full first season to English, and we'll be launching Pan-Africa across Anglophone countries in January 2015. But Africa's not a country, and there are lots of different cultures and languages. So we're also working with partners from Ghana to Rwanda to South Africa to translate and localize for other markets. The other way that we're growing is not just across different countries, but it's to different platforms. So this is a screen grab from our first digital book. We'll be doing print books. We're developing audio lessons for mobile phones and radio, which reaches over 91% of Tanzanians. And of course, we're interested in doing games and apps. As I mentioned at the beginning, access to smart devices and computers is really low, but it's growing faster than anywhere else in the world. If you look at smartphones, internet penetration, or online video, they are all growing exponentially in Africa. And this really is a great opportunity to use these technologies to transform learning. So that's why we're reaching out and reaching millions of kids through broadcast media with fun learning. And then as they get access to new technologies like smartphones or government-issued laptops or some great new technology that someone at Slush is inventing now, we want to be the first place they come for learning. So we're helping kids now become independent problem solvers and self-learners so that they can then go on. We're bridging them to a future of digital learning, and they'll be able to continue this self-education on all the other great ed tech that we've learned about today. So Mama Ndege is a big fan of social media and wanted to leave you some take-home hashtags for edtech in Africa. The first thing is that it has to be accessible. There's no point in creating something that people can't access. And please do not assume that governments, donors, or NGOs are going to put in the devices or infrastructure that you need. It also needs to be locally relevant. Think about languages, cultural contexts. But then make something that's adaptable, because there are so many different situations that you need to be able to adapt for this quickly changing market. And lastly, it should be super awesome. Just because we are a third world market does not make an excuse for creating crappy, third-class quality products and dumping them and thinking people will just use them. Like anywhere else in the world, you have to listen to the customer, test, iterate, respond, and create something that will be used by the masses because they truly value it, not just because it was donated, given to them for free, or the only choice available. So as Mama Ndege would say, you have to make it super awesome. So that's all the time I have, but if you want to learn more, please get in touch. We're always looking for collaborators, and we want to work together to bring fun learning to the next generation of African innovators. Thank you.